Hi, Octavio. This is Ron from POCculture.com. How are you?
Good. It's very surreal, but yes. Hi, Ron. How you doing?
Good. It's surreal for me too. I have to say, I'm never going to live this down. My family loves to laugh at me every time we watch a trailer or see a billboard across town. So, thanks for that.
You're welcome. That's what we were doing. That was our plan.
Yeah. Well, it's such a fun film. So, congratulations. I have to just ask you from the beginning, what was it about this story that drew you to the project?
What drew me to this project was as being a parent and being, a kid of the 80s without having the social networks and social media. And for us trying to find a way to see how kids can maneuver through all this stuff with the posts and the likes and this sense of not bad or good, but idea of that if you are different, if you feel like you don't belong, that's okay, that everybody is kind of going through the same kind of struggle. So I felt, to me, this was a story that I could relate to, and also a way to kind of have a conversation with your kid, and also as a parent trying to help your child through this.
Absolutely. And I'm a kid of the 80s too, so I definitely empathize with what you're talking about. And so it's such a potentially challenging story because awkwardness at that age, middle school, and especially having to develop friendships in the social media age is such a heavy topic. How did you strike that balance between a message that's important but serious, but also telling a story that's a lot of fun?
I think for us, and that's a great question, for us was just trying to figure out like how was it for us when we were kids and trying to make friends, and what that actually is to define that, because there is that moment where Ron asks Barney, what is a friend, and he himself goes, well, he's got like everything I like. But in reality, what you find out is friendship is messy, that it's not like they're going to have different ideas and different opinions, and those challenges is what's going to push those people and or kids to see that that is what a true friendship is. So I think it's that idea again that we're not alone, that we're all kind of going through these things, but also too, it's kind of hard to put yourself out there. And with the social media and social networks, it's a little bit harder to kind of get through all those things. So it's just the kind of idea to make sure that they don't feel like, oh, how do I start? I don't even know where to start. How do I connect to other people? But that there's always ways of interacting with people. So I think this is what for us, or for me at least, when I was reading it, that I just thought it was a good story to talk about.
100%. It's definitely a story that I think all families need to hear, kids and parents like ourselves. So I definitely appreciate it. Now, you have so much experience in animation, in telling stories. What did you pull from your experiences, and what did you learn that you wanted to bring to this project as a co-director?
I think as a person of color and it being an animation, and specifically that was one of the biggest pulls. Like I wanted to tell stories and with children dealing with those kind of things. So isolation and feeling different was something that I already kind of felt. And I felt like that could be something that if I could help in any way to kind of like get yourself out there and stand out and be able to kind of put yourself in a place where you feel like, well, I'm not the same as this other person, that's okay. For animation and telling stories from working at Pixar, the idea was to try to find what is true to the heart and finding a way to connect to people, and to tell these kind of like true stories. So I think hopefully we did that, and hopefully people connect to our movie.
Octavio, you're speaking my language, starting that answer with as a person of color. So I love that, and if we could build on that, one of the things that I'm so passionate about is trying to see more people of color in positions like yourself in telling stories, directing, writing, behind the camera, because representation there is so important. What advice do you have for diverse creatives who want to be directors like yourself, storyboard artists, writers? What advice do you have for those creatives?
I think that the advice I would give, and we're seeing it more, which is great. So I think it's just you got to stay true to what your stories are. Like they are unique. I think that's one of the biggest things. So even though it's like, how do I get there? You already kind of have the tools of whatever stories or experiences you have. You just got to write them down. You got to like push yourself in that direction, and you'll find, as just like in Ron, you'll find that right tribe or people that see what you're trying to do and will support you. So you just got to keep going forward.
I love that. Um, Last question. What's your advice to parents like ourselves watching this movie and raising their kids? As they navigate social media, it feels so overwhelming. What message do you have to help us parents out?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know if I can give advice to like parenting, but I would just say, it is tough, but just, be there as much as you can. And they're going through it. And even when you feel like it's crazy, they're going through it even more, your child. So it's a thing of just being open to listen to how whatever they're trying to figure out. So I don't know. That's a big one, man. That's I giving advice back. It's like as a parent, we're just trying to maneuver through all this stuff. But I think it's also something to be embraced. Like that the tech is here and we're able to talk to each other because we have this technology. So it's kind of like you got to find the balance, I would say.
Absolutely. Now, I did give you a big one at the end, but I thought, your answer was perfect. And
Oh,
that was the message in this film. Congratulations. And thank you so much for taking the time.
oh, thank you.